Good afternoon, everyone. Give me a shout out if you can hear me all right. Let me see how many of you are present today in the class. Please join quickly so that we can start the proceedings today. Okay, I think you will take some time to join. In that case, I will start the session very slowly so that you can do all the catch up whenever you join. So, good afternoon, all of you, my friends, and all my IPMAT students. I welcome you people to BYJU'S Exam Prep. This is Pradeep Sengupta, your VA mentor and guide, and I am going to take you through the nitty-gritties of IPMAT exam and how to crack the verbal ability section of IPMAT. So that's the agenda today. And very slowly, we are going to start the proceedings so that you don't miss out on anything. BYJU'S Exam Prep is helping thousands of students across India to crack all the coveted exams that are there in the country, be it the BBA entrance test or the law preparation, the law entrance test. So, whatever you aspire for, please do be informed that we have an answer to all your queries. We have the best of the best guides and mentors to help you navigate through your future pursuits. So, today's session is going to be IPMAT 2022, of course, and how to actually navigate through the syllabus and what it takes to crack the verbal ability section. So that is the agenda today, and let's get the ball rolling. So when we talk about IPMAT, now you prepare for the BBA, all the entrants that are there to be written, be it the BBA entrance or the IPM entrance for that matter, IPM Indore, IPM Rohtak, Jammu. So we will take into account all the relevant exams that you are planning to write. So before you, how do you look at exams? Now, I think many of you are through with your boards. So how do you look at any exam? I always used to look at my exam as an enemy number one, and the idea was to defeat my enemy. So how do I defeat my enemy? I can only defeat my enemy if I know my enemy, its composition, what it is made of, what it will be frightened of, what it will be scared of. So when you know your enemy inside out, you will be able to choose your weapon. In this case, weapon means the tools that you need in order to crack the exam. When I say enemy, enemy actually means your exam, and tools means the weapon that you're going to use to defeat the enemy. So it is important, essential that you know the exam and then you decide over the right kind of skill sets that will see you through and give you all the success that you require. So know your enemy and then choose your tools. Now, when I talk about the BBA entrance or the IPMAT entrance test, let's understand what the composition will look like. Now, if you look at the composition, it's a computer-based test. We all know that it's a computer-based test. So, primarily, it is going to be online, right? And what is the total number of questions asked? The total number of questions asked is 100. Okay, and what is the duration? It is 2 hours, 120 minutes. Worth noting are the sections over here, English and quantitative aptitude. Of course, when we talk about the other IPMAT exam, the Jammu one, IPMAT Jammu and all. So you will have logical reasoning and DI coming into the picture. But when we talk about Indore particularly, when I talk about IPMAT Indore, so these are the two sections to watch out for. English, 40 questions, and quantitative aptitude, that is maths, 60 questions, and there is a breakup. In maths, there is a breakup. The first breakup is when you have to write the short answers. Just you have to submit your answer. It is non-MCQ based section. And the other one is going to be MCQ, where you just have to select the right option and submit it. So quants, we have two sections. And in English, there is only one section, all MCQ questions. All MCQ questions, and there will be 40 questions to answer. And what is the marking scheme? It's +4 and -1. So this is the marking scheme for IPMAT Indore. So this is what the basic structure of the exam will look like. Now, if you talk about the syllabus, now since we are going to be talking about the VA section, that is the English section, so we will primarily focus on verbal ability. Now, many of you have this misconception that English is going to be relatively easier in IPMAT exam, and you have every reason to believe so. Why? Because all of you have been preparing English since your class 1 and 2, you have written your class 10, you have written your class 12, and many of you score in the brackets of 90 to 100. So that probably gives you that confidence that, okay, English is something that I need not worry. Might as well let us focus on mathematics. But believe you me, there is one very distinct factor that you have to consider, that IPMAT does not test English. It is not a test of English. Okay, this is something which you should focus on, and this is where it gets more interesting. Okay, it is not a test of English, it's a test of verbal ability, right? Verbal ability. Now, when I talk about verbal ability in English, there's a marked difference between these two. Now, when you talk about boards, verbal ability is all about your, prose and poems and short story and English grammar and stuff. But when you talk about verbal ability, it has got more to do with nuanced reading. It has got more to do with exhaustive reading, like reading comprehension. It has got more to do with reasoning-based questions, like the critical reasoning questions, the verbal reasoning questions. When you deal with questions like conclusions, assumptions, when you deal with questions like judgment, okay, conclusion-based question, inference-based questions. So a lot of analysis goes into the verbal ability section. So it is not just about, knowing English and then, attempting the question. You really have to slog out. You really have to slog in order to understand how, and how the IPM and the BBA English sits. Nancy, good afternoon. Shivam, good afternoon. Good to see you people. In short answer, there will be numericals, of course, Nancy, when I talk about short answers. And this is dedicated to the numerical ability, the mathematics section where you have these short answer questions. Okay. Shivam, good afternoon. How are you people doing? Okay. So, as I was telling you, a lot of insightful knowledge in English is required, and that is where IPM English becomes a different ball game altogether. All right, so I will take you through some of the question patterns over here, and you will understand what kind of questions you need to practice in order to have that confidence back and ace this verbal ability section. It is not about scoring high in English, in verbal ability. It's about meeting the cutoffs. Okay? Meeting the cutoffs. So when you talk about cutoffs in IBM Indore, you have sectional cutoffs. You have to meet the cutoff of maths. You have to meet the cutoff in the English section. So together, right, then your name will be shortlisted. And why English is important? It is important for two reasons, right? First of all, you will get to know how your MCQ questions will look like. And once you know your MCQ questions, there is one more section which you have to work on. That is known as the WAT section, where your essay writing will be tested. So that is why a knowledge of some verticals and components of grammar becomes important. So talking about the syllabus, this is how your syllabus will look like, Nancy and Shivam. Please call your friends and ask them to join the program today. Okay. So we will start with reading comprehension. The quintessential feature of IPMAT Indore, guys, is reading comprehension, and exhaustive reading is what they expect out of you. Okay. Then, first of all, let us run through the syllabus. We have parajumble questions where you will have around 4 sentences. The sentences will be all jumbled up, and you have to figure out the correct and the lucid formation of the sequence. All right. Then you have odd one out questions, idioms and phrases, critical reasoning, as I was talking about, fill in the blanks questions, incorrect word used incorrectly in the context, then antonym synonyms, spotting the errors, sentence completion and sentence improvement. So this is just to give you, a basic idea about how the IPM overall English segment will look like. So this comprises your IPMAT Indore, Rohtak, Jammu, and the other relevant BBA entrance exams. Okay, so this is the syllabus. This is how the syllabus will look like. And why do you need grammar? You need grammar so that you can understand those subtle, concepts of grammar, so that when you write, right, there is no scope of syntax error cropping up, so that you don't make any syntax errors, okay, the basic errors, right? That is why you must know grammar. But essentially, it is always about reading, because when you talk about this section, when you talk about this critical reasoning section or fill in the blank section, okay, these are the sections which is going to test your reading. Okay, now people think that I'm reading Harry Potter, I'm reading, Stephanie Meyer, the Twilight series, so that I'm okay with reading. But when you talk about some abstruse areas like, topics based on fine art, or topic based on quantum physics, or topic based on, economics. So for any student who is not, who has not studied economics in 11 and 12, and if he comes across, a topic on the export-import policy or the fiscal policy, then he may not understand, right? That is why diverse reading becomes important, which becomes so very important for your the IPMAT verbal ability section. So I would always recommend that you start reading from the word go. All right. So how this syllabus will look like, we will try to find out the answer with the help of some questions. We have discussed the syllabus. Now we will talk about some of the questions. These questions have been taken from previous year IPMAT exams, and we will try to discuss these questions in the class. All right. Now, if you look at the very first question, it says complete the following sentence by choosing the most appropriate phrase from the options given below. So what do you have to do? You have to choose the right phrase. आपको एक correct phrase choose करना है. And you know that this question is based on idioms and phrases, right? I will give you 15 seconds to look at this answer and look at the question, of course. And if you have any idea, please answer the question. Let's see how we do it. Can we answer this question, guys? Nancy, if you could answer it. Shivam, if you could answer this. All right, so what is the question? The question is, the problems may be difficult, but all you have to do is dash as long as you can. Now, the sentence is giving you a situation. Okay, the sentence is giving you a situation, and what is the situation over here? The situation is, okay, let me just fix my laptop. Give me a moment. All right. Hi, Jayaprakash. Welcome to the class. Jayaprakash has answered the question. He says it should be A. Thank you, Jayaprakash. Thank you. So as I was telling you about the question, we have a problem, and according to the question, right, the writer of this question is encouraging you to stay. Okay? The writer is encouraging you not to quit. Okay? So any idiom that asks you to stay, any idiom that asks you not to quit, what should be the correct idiom? One says, hang in up there. Two says, hang on there. Three says, hang on to that. And four says, hang in there. What is the right answer? The right answer should be hang in there. And Jayaprakash, this should be the answer, dear. Hang in there. Hang in up there. So this word up, it disturbs the idiom. Always remember, idioms, they are fixed, right? Expressions. And since they are fixed expressions, we cannot fiddle with the idioms. इनसे हम fiddle नहीं कर सकते, right? No problem, Jayaprakash. It is okay to be confused, right? Hang on, it means to wait. Like, somebody is on, talking to you over phone, and you can tell him hang on means wait. So hang on is a different idiom altogether. But hang in there, it means wait till you succeed, right? Keep on working hard. Please hang in there. Don't quit. This is the meaning and this is the idea. And that is why 4 should have been the right choice. You see, the questions are not going to be tough. There is a difference between tough questions and tricky questions. Okay, so the questions are not going to be tough. The questions are going to be highly tricky. Okay, and you will understand the trick when you expose yourself to a variety of reading and question solving. Okay, when you expose yourself to a variety of reading and question solving, then you will start getting the answers. All right, why not A? Jayaprakash has a question, but sir, option A, by adding up it alternative meaning, we need the real meaning. Okay, hang in up there. Okay, up disturbs the flow of the idiom, Jayaprakash. That is why hang in there. There means the situation where you are. Hang in up there is a bit distortive in the sense. That is why we are going to do away with up and we are going to stick with hang in there only. All right. So this preposition is actually disturbing the flow. Hang in there means wait till you succeed. We don't say hang in up there. Okay. This actually shows you a location. Up shows you a location. Okay. And we don't need any location over here. There is no need to position something. So hang in there should be the answer and not hang in up there. I hope it is clear to you. Let us try one more question and let's see if we can answer it. Okay, again a question based on idiom, and this is slightly trickier. Why? Look at the question. It says, after all the alliances and arithmetic, the party is likely to dash a majority in the assembly election. Option 1 is scrape through, option 2 is scrape together, option 3 is tape together, and option 4 is shape together. Which one do you think is the right option? I would love to see Shivam and Nancy participating as well, along with Mr. Jayaprakash. It's a teamwork, so let's work as a team. Deepak says 1. Okay, thank you, Deepak. Okay, all right. So let us look at the question. The question is, after all the alliances and arithmetic, the party is likely to dash a majority in assembly election. All right. After all the alliances and arithmetic. Over here, arithmetic does not mean maths. It actually means calculation. Okay. After all the calculations. So political parties, they would definitely calculate. Chris shares shape together. Thank you, Krish. Neha probably wanted to answer, but I cannot see any answer coming up. All right. Scrape through is the correct idiom. Okay. Only when you talk from, or only when you think from an individual's point of view. Okay. Scrape through means to succeed after initial set of struggle. Okay. To achieve anything somehow. Okay. After all the struggles, you're achieving something. So you're scraping through. You can use scrape through. Okay. You have just avoided failure. You have just avoided failure. All right. But over here, you're talking about a political party, and a political party will involve people. Okay. So the sense is not 1 over here. The sense over here is more than 1. All right. And look at the structure of the sentence. It says, after all the alliance and arithmetic, the party is likely to dash a majority. Okay. The party coming together, the party as a unit will prove a majority, even though after much of hiccups, they will prove the majority. And that is why the answer over here should be scrape together. Although scrape through is definitely a correct idiom, there is no problem with scrape through. Since we have this word party in question, where the sense is plural, that is why we are going to stick to 2 and not 1. Neha has a question. Sir, can you discuss the right approach for the next 2 months to have better command over verbal section of IPMAT? Neha, exactly this is what the agenda of the session is, right? First of all, I will take you through some of the question patterns, and then I will tell you what you can do in these 2 months to actually get a skyrocketing verbal score. I hope that is okay with you. We'll talk about it in detail in a little time. So please hang in there. Question number 1. Don't go. All right. We use this idiom there, no? This idiom was there in question number 1. Hang in there. Okay. So this was question 2 for us, guys. And if you are really enjoying the session with me, please don't forget to like the session. Please like the session. All right. Okay. So this is question number 3 for us. Again, a question on idiom, my friends. It says, if you had been more alert, this golden opportunity would not have dash. Okay. The sense is, the overall sense in this question is, you actually let a very good chance go away. You lost a very good chance which could otherwise have been used judiciously. This is the sense. If you had been more alert, this golden opportunity would not have dash. 1. Escaped your fingers. 2. Slipped off. 3. Escaped away. And 4. Slipped through your fingers. This one is an easy question, and I hope all of you will be able to answer it. Okay, so what's the answer? Escape your fingers, slipped off, escaped away, or slipped through your fingers. What should be the answer? Okay, let me take you to the answer option. The answer is slipped through your fingers. This is the best answer choice. Escaped your fingers over here, it does not make any sense. Slipped off, right? Something physically slipping off. We are talking about an opportunity going away from you which could have been used. Escaped away, an opportunity cannot escape. So even this is not the right option. The correct option is 4. Slipped through your fingers. You let an opportunity go away from you which could have been used, right, to your advantage. This was the answer. So slip through your fingers should have been the right answer choice. This was question number 3 for us. So when you keep practicing idioms and phrases, and mind you, these questions have been taken from the previous year IPMAT entrance, right? So these questions have not been taken from any other sources. So you can very well imagine and understand the importance of such questions being practiced, okay, before your IPMAT entrance. Okay, now let's focus on a question based on grammar, right? Now, in this question, now what are these sentences? These are grammar-based sentences. They will give you a sentence and they will underline a part of it. Okay, and the underlined part will be rephrased in 4 different ways. You have to choose one option that actually comes closest to the standard grammatical usage. Okay, so it is the grammar and the syntax, all these things are put to test through such questions. Let's focus on this question, guys. It says the place where her father disappeared and the reason why he did are unknown to her. Option 1 says her father disappeared and the reason why he did are unknown to her. 2 says where her father disappeared and the reason he did are unknown to her. 3 says her father disappeared and the reason he did. 4 says where her father disappeared and the reason why he did. Which one do you think should be the correct option? Anyone? Four. Neha also says 4. Okay. Rohini, Neha, thank you for participating. The others, I'm still waiting. Okay. All right. Let me take you to the answer option quickly. All right. Now, very judiciously, with a cool head, think what went wrong with option 4. What went wrong with option 4? Okay. Option number 4, Rohini, Khushi, thank you for participating. Thank you so much. Okay. It is going to be option 2, Khushi. All right. Why? Now let's understand. The place. First of all, we have a noun over here. Okay. And whenever we have a noun and it shows place, we need a word that actually talks about this place. That is number 1. The place where her father disappeared. The position of place guarantees the use of where. Okay. So 4 stays, 2 stays, 1 can be eliminated, 3 can be eliminated. Now, why not 4? Look over here. Reason why he did. Okay. You are using reason, and right after that you are saying why, right? Don't you think this expression is redundant? It is as good as saying return back. It is as good as saying further ahead. It is as good as saying blunder, mistake, right? These are horrible errors, right? Why? Because these expressions are redundant. You are using reason, you should not say why. 4 suffers from this particular problem. The expression becomes redundant. That is why between 2 and 4, 2 is a much better choice. I hope you people followed my explanation. Remember what Pradeep sir tells you, and you will be on song with your BB IPMAT entrance test. Okay. Khushi, have you understood? Neha, Rohini, have you followed? Okay. This was the problem with this question. All right. Can we move on to the next question quickly? Please work on these particular expressions. What makes a sentence redundant? And what you should do to deal with redundancy in a sentence. All right? Okay. Let us look at question number 5. Now, in question 5, there is no grammar involved. There is no technical, know-how involved. You don't have to follow any syntax. This is complete the theme question. Now, what happens in a complete the theme question? You are given a paragraph, and the last line or the first line of the paragraph will be deleted. And then they will give you 4 options. Out of these 4 options, you have to guess which option completes the theme and feeling of the paragraph. Look at the heading. It says the paragraph given below has a sentence missing which is indicated by a blank. You can see it here. From the choices given below each paragraph, choose the sentence that seems most logically appropriate to complete the paragraph. So let us read the paragraph first of all. Let's read the options carefully, and then we will decide which option completes the sense of the paragraph. Let's read. Sneha Sarkar has answered C. Neha, okay, Khushi has answered C. Wonderful, wonderful. What about the others? I must tell you, both of you, Sneha and Khushi, I can actually see through how you think and plan your answers, right? It is not important to think about the right answer or the wrong answer. It's important to understand what goes on inside, your mind when you're actually thinking of an answer or a reply. Okay, thank you for the answer options there. The rest, can we have an option? Can we have an answer over here? All right. Let us look at the question. The question says, after September 11, it became apparent, means obvious or clear, okay, something which is obvious, that the United States would bomb Afghanistan. It was certain, it was apparent. An open letter by an Afghan appeared on the internet. Okay, it pleaded with the Americans. It means what? The letter. Okay, pleaded means requested with the Americans to realize that Afghanistan was already a devastated country. I would like to draw your attention to this adverb. It was already a devastated country, therefore, what will you gain out of bombing Afghanistan, which has nothing to offer? How can you kill someone who is already dead? Right? So Afghanistan was a devastated country. So what should be the extension? Now you have to understand what should be the extension of thought, right? Since, therefore, this should be the thought, okay? Since Afghanistan was already a devastated country, A says, the kite runner portrays the Afghans as an independent and proud people. B says, the letter ends with a note of optimism. C says, it needed food, not vengeance, sympathy, not hate. D says, it was a hopeless place. All right. The answer to this question would be C. And I can see most of you have got the answer correct. Congratulations, all of you. C is the right option. A talks about the caption, the kite runner. We do not know what kite runner refers to. So this is quite absurd. A can be eliminated. B says the letter ends with a note of optimism. Optimism means positivity. We do not have any idea about how the letter is going to end. So this is too far-fetched. We are not going to choose B also. D says it was a hopeless place. Now, this man has already written in the letter, the content of the letter explicitly mentions that the country is a devastated country. Having said so, you should not have gone on to say it was a hopeless place. Since it is a devastated country, it needed food, not vengeance, means revenge. It needed sympathy, not hate. Therefore, don't bomb us. This was the feeling, isn't it? So C should have been the right answer option. Most of you got this one right. It gives you such a satisfying feeling, when you get the answers right. It infuses you with confidence, isn't it? Okay. Now, one of you was asking me, Neha was asking me, sir, 2 months are left. What is to be done in these 2 months? Neha, this slide will give you the answer, right? I would like you, all of you, to read eclectically, means bring variety to your reading. This is important, okay? Only love stories will not be sufficient. Only science and technology, essays will not be sufficient. You have to lay your hands on a variety of reading because let me tell you, IPMAT RC sections are real killers, right? Being good at English is different, right? And clocking the higher marks and thereby clearing the percentile, the cutoff is totally different. So it is from my experience I'm telling you, I have seen best of the best students not being able to clear the cutoff. And an average student who actually comes from the vernacular background, he or she clears the cutoff in no time. So that is the difference. The difference is, please expose yourself to reading. Okay, because types of questions which are asked in VA, it calls for reading, and it is not going to happen in one day here, right? You have to give yourself some time. Start reading newspapers, start reading by, by going through the Hindu and all, read them. And that will go a long way in, and it is not like maths. Once you understand a concept of profit and loss, once you understand the concept of functions or probability, you can solve questions based on those formula. Okay, but English does not, sit in that way. English is a different ball game altogether. So you have to come back to the passages once again. That's why you see, when you read a particular story or a particular article repeatedly, every time you come across new ideas being conveyed. That is why reading should be an ongoing process. Okay, there is one whole free man. Okay, Bot Solver says that I'm watching CAT VRC videos on YouTube. Is that enough for IPMAT? See, watching definitely helps you. Bot Solver, if that is your name, I don't know. Okay, watching helps. But also it is important to solve questions. Because you see, there are two things. When you have that timer, okay, ticking away, you know the questions. I know that you know the answer to the question, but the timer, it plays psychological game with you. So you have to get used to this timer and treat this timer as your friend. So when you put yourself in that groove, it is good practicing. You may score centuries, when you practice cricket, when you're in the nets. But are you doing the same thing when you're playing the T20 match or the one day? That is the question. All right. So put yourself into practice, solve questions. That is very important. I hope that answers the question. There are many great videos, great content available on YT. But if I am not putting my understanding into use, then everything, it fizzles out. It becomes zilch. It becomes, zero. The idea is to practice as much as possible. So please read. That is number one, right? And second thing, it is practice, practice, and practice all the way, right? In 2 months' time, start solving RCs. Okay? 2 months you have, Neha, you said, right? Can you do 4 RCs a day? Is it possible? Or let me give you a discounted number. Can we do 3 RCs a day? Can we do that? If yes, then you're on song. And keep on building your vocabulary. Because you do not know where the words are going to come from when it comes to the fill in the blanks questions, the antonym synonym questions. How much time should be given to reading every day? Neha, well, that is pretty subjective, right? I would suggest you to devote, or anybody who is actually, inclined to build on his reading, right? 20 minutes to 30 minutes a day, right, will be more than enough. I mean, this is the bare minimum you can put in. Because when you sit with a novel, when you sit with a journal, you take some time to settle down, isn't it? So by the time you settle down, 10 minutes are already gone. So you're left with 20 odd minutes. So in those 20 minutes, try to read and build a good reading speed. Because speed is important, always remember. I always tell my students to follow the C approach. S stands for speed, E stands for efficiency, and A stands for accuracy. Okay, speed, efficiency, accuracy. Become a C. Okay, revise all grammar concepts in these 2 months. I know that you know grammar, but you do not know how much you know. Isn't it? You do not know that how much you know. That is why it is important to revise all grammar questions and practice the past mocks. Okay, practice solving reasoning based questions, the critical reasoning based questions. Board Solver says, I read 5 passages every day, or word power made easy. Okay, don't harass yourself, Mr. Solver. one session per day will be more than enough, or at the max two. And if you really want to practice, then please go back to the basics and write 5 RCs. Solve 5 to 6 RCs if you can. Okay, knowing the root words might help too. Anything that is there to help you will help you. Okay, you learn the words via roots, you learn the words via etymology, you come across words via reading. So any instrument that comes in handy should be used. All right, so these were some of the things which I wanted to discuss with you. And last but not the least, please visualize what exactly are you trying to achieve in life, and then plan a course of action. A course of action is very important. Please plan a course of action and prepare yourself to follow this course of action, and this must be made cyclic in nature. Okay, all right, so this is what the session was all about. BBIPM entrance 22, please let me tell you that we have an amazing offer going on, right? And you can definitely be a part of it if you want to. Flat, you can avail 20% off on all our courses if you want to. Okay, you can definitely crack in 2 months. Krish, you have more than enough time, okay, on your hand. If you practice well, 2 months means judicious use of time is very important. Okay, you can use this code EID20 to avail the discounts that are on offer. Okay, for any queries regarding our BBA IPM entrance exams, call on the given number or write into us on the given number. The courses are already on. The comprehensive course for BBA IPM, you can talk to our counselors today. And a new course is being launched on BBA IPM 2023. It's a comprehensive course, right? To know more about these courses, call on the given number and get your doubts solved. Okay? That's all from my side. From BYJU'S Exam Prep, this is Pradeep Sengupta saying goodbye to you and see you on the other side of the story. I will keep on bringing such, sessions to you. So to get the notification for all our videos, press the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. How to become good in idioms and phrases, Neha, right? The taste of a pudding, lies in its making, Neha. All right. Go back to my basic solution. Read and practice and have a good reference book in your hand. I think you might have heard of, all of you might have heard of, Red and Martin. In Red and Martin, there are 3 chapters dedicated to idioms. If you can follow that book, it's the Bible of grammar and idiom and phrases and sentences. Please read that book, and I think you will be able to, have some confidence in idioms and phrases. So I already brought. I will buy. Okay, that's go ahead and buy the mocks of BYJU'S Board Solver if you want to. Okay, so we are there to help you, and we are going to come up with a lot more sessions on logical reasoning, maths, and other stuff. Do stay tuned, and thank you for attending the class. Don't forget to like the session and share it with your friends. That's all from my side. See you on the other side of the story. All the best for IPMAT. Bye-bye all of you, and God bless you. Yes, Board Silver, I will bring the concepts from Ren and Martin also. Don't you worry. Just stay tuned and follow us on BYJU'S Exam Prep. Bye-bye.